Some adjustments here. So, welcome. I'm super excited for you today and thank you for joining us. I do have a special guest that should be popping in any moment. Sometimes, if you do any online events, meaning hosting events like I do, or if you host, if you join events, right, hosted by another person, sometimes there are technical difficulties outside of our control. So, what I encourage everybody to do in those cases is to take 3 deep breaths and know that you will be able to come up with some kind of a solution because we can't always control what's going on with technology. I like to say that I love technology when it works. None of us can survive without it. And I am so very grateful for the technology capabilities that we have in our world. I think it's absolutely amazing that we are able to connect and build relationships with people all over the world. I'd love to know what your experience has been. I have coached people in over 47 countries. That is just like, it's just mind blowing to me that, that I'm able, because of technology, to create uh, relationships with people that are all over the world. Now, I know that, before we get into the main content of this, which is the three proven strategies for Main Street USA businesses, I just want to say that our world is amazing. And the people in our world are amazing. 10 years ago, I'm thinking this would not have been possible, to be able to actually develop a relationship and make a lasting impact on the people that we serve, on the clients that we coach, on the teams that we are able to effectively impact. It's amazing. So, I just love to say welcome your DMs, your comments on, how do you use technology? I don't think this is a specific enough question, but how has it impacted your business, your practice? So, super amazing. And the reason why I just wanted to start with that and lead off with that idea of technology and being able to, connect with people in multiple countries all over the world. And guess what? English does not need to be their first language. English can be their second language as long as we can communicate effectively with them and keep in mind that it's the outcomes in most cases that we're working with them on, right? They want specific outcomes. They're looking for solutions, and quite frankly, that they may or may not be aware of, right? So, if we can provide those solutions and we can help facilitate those outcomes, then that's why we should be working together, right? So, I asked one of my clients to join us today because he has a phenomenal background to be able to effectively impact Main Street USA businesses. Let me see, I'm going to bring him on in just a moment. He is based down in North Carolina, And he has, like I said, just a stellar resume, stellar background in how to really start implementing these three strategies that he has observed and developed. And it's targeted toward retail businesses. It's targeted toward the Main Street USA businesses. Now, of course, you can use them all over the world. Okay? And that is the beautiful thing again about working with a worldwide audience, because what may work effectively in Australia, guess what? Can work effectively in Main Street USA, and vice versa. So we can learn from each other and make an even larger impact on the outcomes. And I just can't say enough about that. So today's session, you're in for a special treat. If you are having, if you have anything to do with retail businesses, maybe you own a Main Street USA business. Maybe you work at a Main Street USA business. These strategies will help you, number one, to become more aware of what's going on. The person I'm bringing on, my client, he has studied these strategies. He has observed how they work. And, you know, we're getting back to the basics. A lot of the stuff that you're hearing about, you've probably heard before. You may have tried before. But perhaps if you're like many other workers in retail businesses or owners of retail businesses, if you're not seeing the outcomes that you're so seeking, you may abandon those temporarily, right or wrong, right? And try something else. So, my client that I'm going to bring on, his name is Mr. Doug Hammell. And as I was mentioning, he has a stellar track record. There he is, Mr. Hammell himself. I don't know if you were able to hear me. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I where did you hear me, by the way? Or I don't even know. We talk about technology. I don't even know if you were you able to hear me? Were your ears burning when I was talking about you, Doug?
All the time. All the
Okay.
time.
All right, good. Okay. All right. Well, that's wonderful that you heard me. So as I was saying to everybody, I'm super excited to have you here as a guest. You are an awesome business strategist. And I mean, your resume, your track record speaks for itself. One of the things, before we get into this content, but one of the things that I've been super impressed about with you is the fact that you were able to go from zero to 600 clients. And out of those 600 clients, you had a phenomenal retention rate.
Yeah. 92%. Yeah, that's amazing.
Amazing, but I would say in a lot of cases, unheard of,
Yeah.
as because of the fact that a lot of things play into that, right? But loyalty being one of them.
Right.
But in today's world, we often speak about information overload and overwhelm, and people, being the consumer of Main Street USA businesses, as an example, they have the power of choice, and a lot of them are looking, for right or wrong, they're looking for those fast results, right? Those quick solutions. And that makes it really difficult for someone like yourself starting from zeros to 600 clients. Like, you didn't even have a base. You weren't even inheriting someone else's book of business. You built it.
Right. Well, I think that's so true. And the two key points could be communication and value added.
Mm.
I talked to I was out shopping the other day and talked to this husband and wife, and they're from a small town, and Walmart moved in, and the local businesses were just so upset, so upset. And I said, well, what went on? He says, well, the local businesses didn't even act like they appreciated us and even wanted us. And it's no wonder Walmart walked in. And so, communication, Walmart has a greeter out there most of the time.
Yeah.
And so why doesn't small USA business have a greeter out there, but say, welcome, not talk to a fellow employee or say, the feet hurt and they want to be someplace else. But welcoming, small towns. Hey, John, welcome. Good to see you again today. How's your daughter doing? Heard her basketball team was doing really great. And, go on something like that and say, well, John, what are you looking for today? Maybe I need some paint. Well, we've got a great paint department over here, John. Let me take you over and then go into saying, what's it going to be inside, outside? Do you need, a base coat? And, oh, by the way, here's our selection of paintbrushes, and go through the whole thing. And have you thought about you're going to tape it off? So you're adding value, not only to the amount of products, but value that you acknowledged him, you acknowledged his daughter, you were interested in what he needed at that point in time. You gave some of your knowledge that, this stained base is pretty good, but you don't really want that brand. You want to move up a couple of brands because now you can erase the crayon on the wall and not take the paint off. People don't realize that. I didn't realize that the first time. So all of these, so you're bundling and adding more things to the product and thinking through the product with him, what he's in there for, and say, oh, did you get everything you need? No, I want to go over to the store and I'm looking for some tea bags. Okay, well, let me take you over there. We got a whole section of about 12. You'll be overwhelmed, but you'll find what you want.
Right.
So, and then, so the whole thing can be a warm experience. And then, having a cashier, I hate the self-checkout lines. I'm so glad people are fighting that at Walmart. And then, the cashier can do the same thing. They usually say, well, did you get everything you want? Well, no, we hope you did. Is there something maybe you forgot? We'll hold your space in line over here and just take your cart over there and go back and get your coffee cake. You forgot that today. And so that the whole thing is a warm experience.
Right.
And then what's wrong? We've given them a 10% coupon for the next $100, excuse me, or $50 of a product that they
bought.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. So, so you're giving them a reason, hey, I got a coupon here for 10%. I got to use that. It says it right here. I got to do that by next month or whatever. So it gives them a reason to come back. It gives them a warm feeling. You're making yourself available. You're making a contact. You're appreciating him. Gratitude can't have enough of it to go any farther. So, the whole experience can be a good one. And if you notice lately, Walmart says they aren't the cheapest.
Right?
And
Yeah.
so you do have options to go to your local hardware store and and give them the business and hear their knowledge and experience and have a great experience. And for the hardware store, you might say, welcome, we paint the town red.
Hmm.
So we're your hardware red store. Um, Kind of crazy. But it gives them a reason to say, well, those guys are crazy, but I enjoy talking to them because at least they admit they're in the red zone. I don't know.
Well, exactly. And
And,
your people are going to remember that. Your people, that's going to be part of their well, their presence, and they're something that I don't want to introduce because you're going to talk about it with the 3 proven strategies, which we'll get into here in just a minute. But that, like you said, they paint the town red. They're known for that. They have a certain, even if it sounds a little bit outlandish, you know what I'm saying?
right,
It's their tagline, it's their brand positioning. And one of the things that I feel that you stand for is, getting back to the basics. How can the Main Street USA businesses really, reclaim some of the business that they may have lost for different reasons, right?
right.
And I feel that those 3 strategies that you're going to talk about today are really going to help the retail businesses get back to the basics and really start doing the things that matter most so that they can have the long-term customers like you talk about. Because people have choices nowadays. They can be overwhelmed with the information and the choices. So let's get into the 3 proven strategies from you as the business strategist, so that these people, these retail businesses can actually start using these 3 strategies today. And then, of course, at the end, we're going to talk about what a next step would be if they would like to get some additional information from you or have you come on and speak to their teams.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Well, the one thing we're talking about, and the first thing is your marketing dominating position.
Mhm.
Why are you different? Just like that couple I was talking to, they wanted to be recognized, as an existing customer, and they wanted to be appreciated. And if you come up with you know, Allstate says what? You're a good friend. No, State Farm says we're like
Oh,
a good
yeah.
neighbor over here, and Allstate has another one. But I like that red one. And your cashier might even say, "You got some red on today." That little wreath has some red in it. Did
Yeah.
you
Right.
did you know you got another 10% off because you were wearing red, and that's our
Ah, hey,
and
that's a bargain.
and that's our main theme here because we never want to be caught red or have our pants down
Yeah,
uh,
that's right.
in front of the computer, so
Right.
in front of the customer. So I love your laugh, and if you can get your customer to do that, then it creates a memorable experience, and say, "Oh, I'll get in Mary's line because I remember that line before, and I'm still wearing that red sweater today, so I want my 10% off."
Right.
Uh,
Claim it.
so so that really makes the connection. It lets them know, and that you're making a connection with them, that you're welcome there, and you're not getting that from your competition. I mean,
Right.
there's so many cashiers, and they want you to go self checkout now, and um, hey, they think the TV and all the other advertising they do is enough, but it's still a one-on-one warm connection that people really are longing for and hopefully are going to get back to. Um, and, how do you know what to do? Look at what your competition isn't doing.
Right.
or,
Good point.
you, you
That's
know,
one way. Yeah.
or is doing wrong.
Right.
And one thing, you walk into a place and they'll say, first thing, it's hard to find somebody. Second place,
Very hard
yeah,
sometimes.
and they say, well, that's Tom's plumbing shop, plumbing department over there, and Tom's on break, and I'll find somebody. And so what should have been maybe a 5-minute thing ends up being a half hour, and you still haven't talked to Tom, and you're over there wandering around, and it's a frustrating experience.
It is.
Even when you find Tom, he might not be the most knowledgeable guy to say, well, yeah, we have a whole bunch of faucets over here. They all look kind of nice. Just take your choice. Well, that's not the way to go. Tom or somebody knowledgeable said, well, we're talking about the bathroom. Is it a full-time bathroom? Is it a time bathroom? If you're going to use a lot in the kitchen, well, you need probably a little bit of better product with a sprayer on it and all these other options. Your wife would really like that for Christmas, by the way. She's been in here and kind of told me. But,
Right. Exactly.
So
they're paying attention.
Yeah. So all these things make a difference. And as a Main Street USA, you have a light to shine as to how you are different and that you care and that you do have a product line.
Right.
The other thing you could use is maybe a tagline. If we don't have it, we'll get it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that.
Because I've been into, we're different stores. Maybe we shouldn't use the names, but they say, well, you have to go online and look at it. Well, I'm a touch and feel guy, and most people are. So you might say, well, I'll put the order in today and it'll be here Friday or Monday, and come on back, ask for me again, and I'll show you what it is. So that you can really see that this is a superior product, with the right finish on it, what the finish really looks like.
Right.
And all the doodads on it, it walks and talks. No, I like being funny, but it's it's a good product with Moen. I think they are a good brand and they stand behind it. It's got a lifetime warranty. Anything goes wrong, you can come back to me. I'll take care of it for you, or you can call this 800 number. But it's a lifetime product. It's not a throwaway product.
Yeah.
And then just between you and I, Tom, if you buy one of the store name brands, it's kind of iffy. It's the bottom line. But if that's what you want for your stepchildren,
then you can
get that for them. But I'm here to tell you the whole story about each and every product that I have knowledge about, because I talk to the sales reps all the time. And we're here to service our customer, you.
Yeah, and that really, I feel, encapsulates the first strategy that you said about the marketing. Now, tell us about the second one.
Well, you have to know where your niche is, and most of the time you can't be everything to everybody. But if you have 3 or 4, good product lines where, well, let's say you're going to have to help me, Victoria, here a little bit. A ladies' clothing line, and you're fighting against Victoria's Secret. Okay, you might say, you know, you probably don't want what's the name, Lane? Is that the name of one of them? And you might want Betty. There's
Yeah,
another.
what is that? Like, wait, are they still in business? Lane Bryant?
I don't
That
know.
that's that yeah, because I mean so many of them. Again, that's why you have this strong I understand you have this strong stance to, getting back to the basics for the Main Street USA businesses so that they can survive and thrive. Um, I don't even know if Lane Bryant still that's a good point that you brought that up because a lot of them haven't survived. Casual Corner was another female brand, kind very similar to like the Ann Taylors, the Talbots and things like that. Well, and then that went out of business. That was way before COVID, but yeah,
Well, but Talbot, in a lot of these, you can explain to your client that, well, there's a difference in stitching, and what's made to last for a long time versus
right, right,
what's meant to be wore once and thrown away. But they look great on you. But if you're looking for if you're a teacher and you need to wear one every day of the week, one a day and everything, you need to know, what kind of quality that you're buying and how it's going to stand up. And there's a lot to also as to the quality of how you wash things.
right.
And
And and how how it's washable. You know what
right,
I'm saying? Because like it's interesting you bring this up because Lululemon is one of my favorite like athletic brands. However, I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me.
God bless.
Thank you. Okay. Excuse me. I can't control the sneezes, right? So I'm just gonna kind of go with it. But anyways, Lululemon is one of my favorite brands because it is top-notch quality. Like one of the things and I'm sure a lot of people watching this can relate. But the thing that sold me on them is they have a lifetime warranty on the quality. Now, of course, there's a disclaimer in there, like if you're not washing it properly, which by the way, you're not supposed to put fabric softener in with the Lululemon when you're washing it, right? And so you have to be mindful of that. But like if it gets a hole in it and it's normal wear and tear, guess what? At any point, you can take it back to their one of their stores and they will send it out to their seamstress and they will repair it. Now, that's unheard of. I mean, Nike doesn't even do that as far as I'm concerned. So like when you talk about your first strategy, which was, how are they going to dominate the market? I think that's something that, all of the Main Street USA businesses need to take in mind. Now, Lululemon, of course, is a global brand. They are on Main Street USA, but they are global. So I think, like to your point, what I hear you saying is some of these people in these stores, they're having relationships with these people. They even know that the guy's wife came in, and what the guy's wife liked. So that can even help adding value.
right. And you have quality to offer, not
Right.
not junk.
Yeah, not junk because I think you're like this too. Uh, I would rather have less of something that was a better quality as opposed to more of something, that's not going to hold up. I just it doesn't make sense. I mean, I'm speaking kind of more about, clothing, but I mean it's the same thing like when you were talking about some of the store brands versus Moen or I don't know all my brands, but the Kohler. it- That's something that people obviously need to take into consideration because, where do they want to spend their money? So the after the second strategy, what's the third and final strategy?
Well, we were talking about quality, and I wanted to interject. This guy had a marvelous couple I was talking to. He said Americans have been victim of price shopping, and and he
Ah,
and the in the furniture industry, which he was in, and he says, we made a quality product, and then when the price point came in with the Chinese, Japanese, and whatever, the particle board, some manufacturers decide to cheapen Broyhill use, to cheapen the product,
wow,
and,
wow.
but same change, charge the same price. And he says you can't do that to the American public because it just doesn't hold up. You have to hold your hold your brand up and say there is a reason why we're more expensive, because it doesn't fall apart in 6 months to a year and a half. You're buying a lifetime product with a lifetime warranty, and and the finish, and we do make it right, no matter what goes on with it. Sometimes a screw gets loose and flies away, but we'll make it right. We'll put it back together again for you, or we'll just replace it with a new one, because
Wow.
that's the quality that we are. And again, that's differentiating from the competition.
Huge. That's huge because, a lot of when you say that, that makes me think, Doug, that, okay, people have a return policy or, they have a warranty, but it's it's usually not a lifetime warranty. Only the higher end brands, I feel, have a lifetime warranty, but that's because that's part of their brand, that's their positioning, that's their value. They want people to be able to invest in something that's like, furniture as an example. Some of that could be legacy furniture. It could be a very a rocking chair, or something that a grandfather or grandmother had, and that can actually be handed down to the generations.
Right, great. Yeah, the another marketing position could be, we're here for a lifetime to back up our lifetime commitment of the product that we sell.
Yeah, right.
And,
Absolutely.
and so
Mhm.
they know your position, that we ain't got no junk, uh,
Yeah, right.
because we're here committed again to you and our product, and for a lifetime, not just to get it out the door at the cheapest price, but to have a long-term relationship, that of commitment to you and our product and our community, as to um, what makes business go around. We want a lifetime relationship as a client, and not just a one-time purchase as a customer that we never see again.
Right, right.
And,
Exactly.
and the big stores could care less. I guess maybe they might care because their volume down. It's all dollars, but um, with a smaller operation, we could say, well, we haven't seen you in a while. You might give them a call. I talked to a veterinarian the other day, and we were talking about increase in sales. And I said, well, why don't you call about, go through your old list of people you haven't seen for a while and say, yeah, Kitty James, your pet cat, hasn't been in here for maybe a year or two. Is she okay? Is she still operating? Uh,
Still purring? Yeah.
Is she still ornery as she used to be? Um,
Mhm.
we see maybe she needs to check up and some shots. We're having a special this month, half off if you come in for a checkup and so many shots.
Yeah.
Uh, and this cat is a part of their family, and you're talking like the cat is, and you're expressing concern and care, and so you're trying to reestablish a client with concern, and you're bundling with some extra a discount for a specific checkup and shots, rabies, and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
Right.
so, so that's why wouldn't you go back, to a veterinarian that called you, was concerned about your animal, and was concerned about you, and was, let's say the right word, cheaper, less expensive,
Yeah. Right.
than any other vet in town. So you got three punches there to reestablish a relationship.
Yeah. Super, super important. So, and those are, just, very basic, but that's that's what's important is getting back to the basics and what strategies work for the Main Street USA businesses, because to your point, what you were saying earlier, Doug, I mean, there's competition out there. So, they have to be positioned properly. They have to be able to declare what is their market dominating position. How are they different than some of the bigger box stores, as an example, or some other neighboring businesses. Everyone has a unique positioning. I like how you focus on the taglines, and you spend so much time getting to know these clients of yours that come to you to help them implement business strategies that are really going to work not just today but long term, to really be able to attract those customers and get them to be the lifetimers, the ones that, why would they go anywhere else if they know where they are buying their furniture or their hardware. So what's the third and final strategy?
Well, the other thing is, and I rarely have I been asked. Sometimes the best solution to a lot of things is walk in and find out what they're not doing, and
Yeah,
and,
very true.
and then one of the things is they don't ask for an email address.
Mhm.
And here's a great opportunity. And sometimes you might get some resistance, but if you send out an email and saying, again, we appreciate you, and this month we have paint on sale, or for the veterinarian this month. Oh, we probably didn't know that we have some new leashes that have a lot of new additions that you hadn't seen before.
Mhm.
So it's a constant communication, and then you can also add a little coupon in there saying, here's additional 5%, 10% of whatever you want to do, or put a bundle together of well, if you buy, the water dish and the food dish and leash together, we have a special deal of 98.99.
Yeah,
Whatever.
see, that's absolutely awesome. And like you said, sometimes the best way to figure out, what's going to be most effective is determining what they're not doing, and and then getting that together, like you said, a bundle that's not only cost effective, that's also very convenient, because then it's all bundled together, like whether it's a new puppy package or it's a new rescue package, right?
Right.
Or maybe you do have a very unique kitty cat that walks on a leash, whatever the case is, you are getting it specific for your pet.
Well, what kind of a neat idea might be too is that we'll personalize it. We'll put Tabby's name on it.
Yeah.
We'll,
Yeah, a tag. A
yeah,
tag.
Yeah, Chrissy's dish, don't touch.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Jack, Jack's
Yeah.
dish, don't touch. Uh,
Yeah. Oh my
so,
gosh. Yeah.
is anybody else doing this? No. And so you want to be different. You want to be unique. You want to be knowing them, knowing your niche. You want to make a good front impression from the minute they walk in the door that you're just not a number. You're a real person with a real need, and fill that need. Well, say, we're just looking. I don't know how many times you guys probably hear that. And you say, okay, well, you're very welcome here to look. Today, this month, by the way, is kitchen towels. We've got about 12 varieties back there. Some are cheap between you and I, and some are really the best. We got some really neat Thanksgiving things back there. And maybe you might want to look at them. Let me take you back, and maybe you'll see some things on the way, but at least you'll see this is a real good deal and very unique. Hey, what about a Christmas gift for somebody, giving them a Christmas towel? That's something they'll use every day.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
maybe we'll personalize it and put Aunt Kate's
Mhm.
uh, towels for special um, relatives. I don't know.
Yeah.
So,
No, those are great ideas because, they're very thoughtful and, as opposed to just, nothing too exciting, nothing. Well, you mentioned about bundling, what's compelling? What's the irresistible offer? The irresistible offer could be that bundle that you mentioned, because it's convenient. People are in a hurry. They want that new puppy bundle or they want that new rescue bundle, as opposed to them having to pick out, all the individual things. And then the furniture. I mean, I come back to that because I think in closing, you know, people want to invest in the quality, right? I mean,
right,
they want to invest in the quality, but because there is so much competition, there's confusion, there's information overload, and I think what you're doing with Main Street USA businesses is really helping them get back to the basics, but keeping it simple for those customers so that they, when they find the place, like you're saying, whether it's a hardware store, furniture store, they don't have to go anywhere else. Can you speak to that before we wrap up, please?
well, yeah, I think it's the whole thing is making it easy and
Mm.
and accessible and educating and saying, a lot of times for a chair, you got to turn it over and look at the bottom of it.
Well, that's true. Mhm.
Is it wood? Is it glued together? Is it screwed together? Um,
Or
you
do
know,
you have to put it together? I
right.
think that's another thing. Yeah.
Oh, you could, another thing you can do, we deliver, no charge.
See, that's awesome.
And other places say, well, when we get to it next week, we'll put you on the list. Oh, and by the way, it's an extra $250.
Right.
And all of a sudden you say, well, I wanted to use it tonight. And I think that's a little high on your price. And no, no haggling. It's all included. They don't have to think about it. And it's a convenience. And do you think they'll tell their neighbor about it? Heck yes. Because they got a good deal and they got the product there when they wanted it, where they needed it. And they proved for themselves that it was a quality product.
Mhm.
And
And
so,
they were responsive to their
yeah,
needs. Like you said, like, if that person wanted to use it tonight, and if they can make it happen, then of course, like you said, they're going to be telling their neighbors. That one old adage that I've heard and you've heard for years, that's never going to go out of style. about how, if someone has, if someone doesn't have the best experience, what is it? They'll go ahead and tell 10 people, maybe even more, right? They will publicize that. So, that's something that I feel like still needs to be taken in consideration. What's the vision that you want for the consumer so that they feel welcome there? Like you were saying, they feel great, they feel seen and heard, and you better believe that they're going to tell people about the experience they had, and they are going to keep coming back, which I know is on the top of your list when you work with businesses, as far as how how are you helping them to create that lifetime customer value? And I truly believe, as we wrap up here today, that there is no one better to speak to that and to help the individual businesses, Main Street USA businesses, to be able to implement that into their business, identify their values, because you were able to achieve that 92% retention rate, which I feel in insurance, or any business, is rare, if not almost unheard of. Because, I mean, I know other insurance companies. I actually had one in particular that was a client of mine several years ago. And, while they were successful before we worked together, they were successful at being able to bring in new business. Unfortunately, one of the reasons was they were trying to cut down their prices so that they could, enroll new clients, that were just shopping on price, because a lot of their other clients were going out the back door. So it was just the churn. But your methodology, the way that you operate, 92% retention rate, you're you know you're in the best position to be working with these businesses that are looking to get those lifetime customers.
Right. One thing I was thinking about furniture again, all these wild ideas keep great wild ideas, I hope, keep coming out, is call them maybe a year later when the furniture has been used a little bit and said,
Oh, yeah.
did you know it? Well, I forgot to tell you, you have a lifetime warranty, but we got to come out and clean it and seal it for you again.
Yeah, that's
So
a great idea.
so it looks like new, and because it is a lifetime product and it's something that you're entitled to, can we set that up for Tuesday next week? And
Mhm.
I know you bought the sofa. We've got a couple of chairs in that have good material that are compatible with that pattern that you have.
Yeah,
Would you,
right.
could I bring one of those out and show it to you? Um, what? Somebody calling me for something free,
Mhm.
and looking after my whole women are the design that
Yes.
the woman might be looking for. I mean, do you think they're going to tell their neighbor? I hope so.
They're gonna, and you, I think you really, out of all the wisdom that you shared today, I think that, uh, one of the phrases that you said that is replaying in my head is, you know, how can you, how can these businesses make it easy? How can you make it easier, instead of just thinking, well, yeah, we're going to give them what they need. Oh yeah, we'll give them a discount. But how can you really take them, step by step, and some hand holding along the way, on the journey. That all has to be envisioned and mapped out, and that's something that you can help them with. So what's the best way for them to get in touch with you? I'd say connecting on LinkedIn would be good. I Now we're streaming this on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. But what I've found is a lot of your customers are on LinkedIn. Of course, they could also, they could also send me a DM on Facebook. If they want to connect with you, I can get them in touch with you. Uh, but uh, but what's the best way? Can they connect with you on LinkedIn?
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm on LinkedIn, and I was trying to find my email address. It's businesscompanyinsurance.org, but I have to send it to them. I don't say.
Okay. Yes. So if anybody's looking to have Doug's opening up, limited spots, of course, but limited spots for a complimentary discovery call. It's 15 minutes. So that, if you have a top of mind challenge or you are looking to get back to the basics in what you can do, maybe you're just looking to increase your customer retention. Maybe you're one of those many businesses that is having trouble attracting and retaining employees, right? That's another big problem, okay, besides the customer service. But whatever the problem is, I'm confident that if you are looking to have a call with Doug, you certainly connect with him on LinkedIn, or in the meantime, you can send me a DM if you're not connected with him, and I will gladly and be happy to introduce both of you. So, he's not able to open his calendar all the time just because of his schedule and, everything that he's got going on with serving clients. And but he is going to be opening his calendar. So if you want to secure a place on his calendar link, definitely DM me or connect with him. Doug Hammell. His last name is Hammell. Right?
Thank you. Yeah,
On
thanks, Victoria. Thank you
Yes.
so much for everybody that attended. I really appreciate your time. I do have a wicked sense of humor, and hopefully we can connect on that basis. I'll hear your jokes, you can hear mine, and
Yes. Yes. I think that's awesome.
we'll,
Yes.
we'll have a good time. I I have a unique ability to bring humor to almost everything. Uh,
Yes.
so that we want to have a happy, enjoyable, enthusiastic experience, and not a dictatorial experience at all.
That's right. And, so if anybody is looking to really, sometimes it's about getting laser lucid clear on what's not working. And, one of your strategies, Doug, was, well, go in and see, what aren't they doing? What's missing here? And, Doug is one of those people that, if you're local there or he's traveling, he will be able to unravel the mystery. They talk about these secret shoppers, but there is a lot of there's a lot of truth to that because owners of these main street USA businesses, they can't be everywhere. I mean, they have families, right? And some of these main street business owners, they may own multiple businesses. They may have to travel around, to different franchises. So really getting super clear on, maybe there's a team member that's really not working out there well, but the point is that you have to get to the bottom of it. And sometimes the best thing you can do is bring someone in from the outside, like a strategist like Doug, so that he can help you determine, what's not working and what's really going to get you from where you are to where you want to be.
Yeah, and this couple I was talking about earlier too, all you have to do is ask,
Hmm.
with an open mind and off the premises or out the front door, or whatever works when they're not really, when they're in a comfortable situation outside the store location, and they'll tell you everything you want to know. And all you have to do is ask with an open heart and an open mind and a curiosity, which I really do have,
Yes.
so that you get the whole story. Um,
Mhm.
in a good atmosphere with a genuine. I really just want to know,
Mhm.
what's your really deepest thought. And when this guy said they acted like they really could care less, I said, "Wow, I mean, how can you stay in business with that kind of attitude?" And
Mhm.
so if that must be from the top, because usually it permeates down,
Right.
and you really got to start the top and maybe replace all the way down, or whatever works. Have a position of, like I used with the we're we're painted red today, and
Yeah,
so
right.
so everybody understands that what red means, and what and communicates that to the consumer, and it's a fun team effort to see how they can incorporate that into each and every activity. So,
Yes, absolutely. It's super exciting. Okay, well, thank you so much, Doug, for joining us today. It was just an absolute delight to have you here. And I'm really super excited about all of the clients that are going to be fortunate to work with you. Because sometimes it's just the very small shifts that can make the biggest amount of outcome, biggest amount of impact that can lead to the outcome, is what I was trying to say, that they are seeking. And there's no better person than you, who have you've done the work, and you have walked in the shoes of many of these business owners, but they haven't been able to figure it out just yet, you know um and maybe because they're too close to the situation, right? So if they can talk and work with a strategist like you, it's going to be difference making. They can 7-10x their revenue, if they're doing the right things in the right order, so that they can get from where they are to where they want to be. And maybe it is something like you've said, like, the what is it? Painting the town red, or
right.
what yeah, the red thing. I mean, gosh, they could choose different colors certain days of the week and make people a lot of make them guess, there's a lot of fun things, a lot of fun ideas that I've learned from you. So, thank you
Well,
everyone.
if you have a happy customer, you have a happy employee, you have a happy employer, and everybody's happily making money.
Yes, exactly. And you know what? That's what for these main street businesses in USA. And please keep in mind, for the international audience, anyone watching this recording, because we have a lot of people that like to watch the recordings, and then we'll restream this, of course. But a lot of these strategies are going to work in other places outside of the United States. But we just use this as an example because this is close to home. This is something that Doug feels very strongly about. And, just we can't ignore it anymore. We can't ignore the fact that Main Street USA businesses, a lot of them are closing. All we have to do is walk or drive down the street, right? And some of the strip malls, they're vacant. What is going on with some of the malls, where some of the malls, the anchor stores, are vacant? That's
Right.
not good. So the way we can change that is by figuring out, what are these, small things, how can we make things easier for people, right? You know, you are such a great person to do that because you've mastered it in a field that I feel is almost unheard of with insurance because, you know, most people, because it can be somewhat of a commodity
Right.
in some cases, right? I know that firsthand because when I was selling telecommunications with AT&T, guess what? With the competition at the time when we had MCI and Sprint, it was a commodity, you know, where it was it was a rough sale. And so we had to do what you teach, which is, you know, figuring out what really, you know, what are the customer buying habits, what are their pain points, and talking in their language, right?
Right.
Just like you talk in the customer's language. So, you know, that is important, especially with the commodity basis. But you were able to overcome that in a service industry because you differentiated yourself. So connect with Doug on LinkedIn. If you'd like an introduction, just DM me or put it in the comments. We're gonna restream this at least one time through the week. It'll be on the playlist because we know we've got viewers all over the world. So, you know, we'll try to stream it or it'll be on my feed. I'll forward it to Doug. And thank you. And then if you have any other ideas for Doug, I'm sure I think he would be very delighted to come back again. And we will talk. Maybe we'll go into a little bit deeper, you know, deeper ideas. But you know, it's all going to be related to and serving the Main Street businesses. All right. So thank you so much, Doug. You have brought so much wisdom. And the thing that I love is you keep things simple. So good
Right.
job.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody.
All right. Bye, everyone. We'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye now.